Are we ready today, family? Are we ready? It's been a couple months, so we may have forgot that after me comes my dad. So let's prepare ourselves, our hearts, maybe our stomachs, because it's gonna be a while. I saw what my dad, or what the Father gave my dad to speak to us today, and I told him it's a long one. And I asked him, "Are you gonna finish it?" He's like, "Well, if they give me time, I'll finish it." So here we are today in my Father's Sabbath.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I have been so busy this past week, the past couple of weeks, the whole summer, doing my applications for med school, that I thought I wasn't going to be able to preach today. But I don't know if you remember, but several weeks ago, Pastor Isaac preached a powerful message, and as we were praying here, I don't know if you remember, Shannon, I said, I just got to work. And it was a question, really. It's like, are you eating what I'm giving you? Are you digesting what I'm giving you? Now, let's break it down a little bit and understand what maybe he meant, or what he means by digest. What he means by to eat. See, the human body, let me give a little tidbit about it. When we are injured, or when our body renews itself, because every day our cells are dividing, it has to get that material from somewhere. And that comes from what we eat. The nucleic acids, the proteins, the fats that we use comes from what we eat. So literally, what we eat becomes part of us. And the Father's asking is what I'm giving you, this word that you're eating, maybe every day, maybe every Shabbat, are you digesting? Is it becoming a part of you?
Hallelujah.
And that convicted me. I was afraid, yet again, to preach another message, because I had to ask myself, is it changing me? Is it becoming a part of me? So today, if I want to give you a title, the title is Eat and Live.
Hallelujah.
Because He is the truth, the way, and the life. So we're going to start off in Matthew chapter 26, verse 26. And we're just going to read straight 3 verses before I ask everybody to sit down. It's Matthew 26, 26, Matthew 11, 29, and 30. So here's what it says. Are we there yet?
Hallelujah.
I'm going to wait till we're unified. Till we're uniform. Are we there yet? All right. Hallelujah. It says, verse 26. And as they were eating,
All right.
our master Yeshua took bread, and having blessed, broke, and gave it to the taught ones, and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." Go to Matthew chapter 11, verse 29. Here's what it says. "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble in heart, and you shall find rest for your beings." And verse 30 says, "For my yoke is easy." In other words, it's gentle. And my burden is light. We can sit down. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Oh, our Master Yeshua took bread, blessed it, broke it, and then gave it. He says, by His stripes, we are healed. Our Master was broken in order for Himself to give to us. Because we can't take the whole thing. Not yet. Here a little, there a little.
Yes, sir.
So, what we learn every Shabbat, every study, needs a little sitting down with after the fact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, I'm guilty because when Pastor Isaac or any ministers come up here and tell us, write it down and read it after, I never do that. Right? Because my sister's writing them for me, and I said to myself, in the future, when I have time, I'll get on it. Right? But tomorrow is not promised to anyone. So what if I said that and the next day I didn't have the chance to go after it? Even though in my heart I said I did. So in my heart, I just broke a promise. So a master had to be broken so he can give himself.
All right.
We have to be broken so we can give ourselves.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Now who are we giving ourselves to? Do we know? To whoever comes. Whoever the Father sends to us. Whether it be another brother or a sister, or whether it be a lost soul, that we have to take something out of ourselves. We have to break apart something within ourselves to give to them something that they can handle.
That's right.
Something that they can digest. I don't know if everybody wasn't here this morning, but Pastor Isaac said that there's a way to approach somebody.
That's right.
That will make them receive what we're about to say. Right? And that goes with food. Whether it's physical food or the spiritual food.
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes when Pastor Isaac is preaching, or my dad is preaching, or Minister Johnson is preaching, not everything they say I can take in.
All right.
Not everything they say immediately relates to me. But even if there's just one, I'm filled up.
That's right.
Now, if I digest what I've eaten, that's blessing on me. But if I just leave it there and then leave it alone, it didn't really become part of me.
All right.
Because from, when did you start preaching, Pastor Isaac? 1980. From 1980 to 2020, 30 years worth of food. 40 years, sorry. 40 years worth of food. 40 years worth of changing, 40 years worth of digesting. But where are we? 40 years. By now, I think from 40 years ago, the cells in your body are no longer the cells you have now. So the mentality that we had 40 years ago, for those who have lived that long, should no longer be the same.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
That is maybe a most literal phrase of the old man is gone. There's a new man that has become me. I'm not in control anymore.
Hallelujah.
Because I have digested what the Father is giving me, and it's become a part of me.
Yes, sir.
I don't mind it being quiet today because I was quiet when I was receiving this word, because I was very hesitant. Because it requires changing a part of my life. It requires me sitting down and finally getting down to what I said I would in the future, that I would read, no matter what's going on in school, whatever is going on in my life, I will take the time to digest and eat. Our Master's prayer is, give us our daily bread. Right?
That's right.
And we know it's not just food, but it's spiritual food. Our Master is bread. He is life.
Yes, sir.
But sometimes we take it to be easy when we're eating, right? We only want to eat food that tastes good. Just an hour ago, my mom cooked a soup that was not good. It got spoiled, right? So we brought in Mother Audrey. We asked her to smell it to make sure that we're all on the same page. She's like, it smells bad. I don't even want to taste it. But after, a few times of sniffing it, she decided she tasted it and she spit it out the next second. It was bad. When I received this word last night, I was eating that sour bread. I didn't know it was sour bread at first. So I took a piece, because if I said, all right, break it up, take it, just like it said on verse 26, and eat it. I don't like sour things. I was very close to spitting it out. Now, how many times does that happen when we're receiving the word? That it doesn't feel like it's for us. It doesn't taste good in our heart. And we want to spit it out. Because it's convicting. Just like this message was for me. It's convicting. And I even told my dad, well, maybe it's just going to be you today. But the word says, chew it and swallow it.
Hallelujah.
It doesn't have to taste good all the time.
Sweet on the mouth.
I like it when it
Bitter in the stomach.
Verse 30 says, my yoke is gentle and easy. My burden is light. He didn't say his burden is easy.
That's right.
It's light.
Yes, sir.
That means we don't have to put on a whole bunch of other things on it. Right?
That's right.
For example, if I really just want what the burden that our master carried, I don't have to worry about med school. I don't have to worry about classes. I don't have to worry about this and that. Adding on top of things that our master said, you don't have to do that. Just put on my burden. And you only have to focus on one thing.
Come on.
And that is the kingdom.
That's right.
But because we are in our flesh, we haven't separated ourselves from the world. The dream of our pastor and my dad and a whole bunch of other ministers to separate ourselves from the world, we are worrying about things that we don't have to.
Come on, brother.
We're adding burden on things that we don't have to. We're not just taking what is good and leaving it aside. We want to fix it up. We only have one master who can fix anything up.
All right.
With men, it is impossible, right?
That's right.
But with the Spirit, all things are possible.
All things.
In
Hallelujah.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 17, talking about bread, talking about the truth, the way, and the life.
Come on.
One way, one truth, one life, one bread, one body.
That's right.
So in verse 17 it says, because there is one bread, there is one Messiah,
Come on.
we who are many are one body.
One body.
For we all partake of the one bread. So if we are one body and we eat the one bread, everything within that bread should spread out and touch every part of that body. That means if a brother or a sister was absent, what should we do so that they can also partake of the bread that was given to us? Share it. Right? Maybe that's one tiny reason why our pastors are dreaming of a place where we can all be together. So that if one was in their little hut while word was going